Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's going on, fam? And Facebook, what's going on? So I got Facebook over here, and YouTube is over here. So let me just pull this up real quick. I got like 10 minutes, and I want to talk about this subject really quick on feeling demotivated, feeling off, feeling not really sure of what's going on in maybe your scenario. So I was actually feeling that this morning, which drove the motivation to do this short live with you guys today. Which, by the way, YouTube, I am going to try to go live more often here, at least once a week. And Facebook, you guys already know how we do it in the Facebook group, 7-Figure Sales Secrets. So if you don't know that, go to my personal page, or I'll drop some links below this video live. So anyway, guys, let me pull this up here. Okay, cool. So we're live here now in the Facebook group. All right, so short live today. If you're feeling off or demotivated, that is actually how I was feeling this morning. And it's totally normal. I know that a lot of the time, because this used to be me, right? I would look at people on the internet and be like, how are they always so on? How are they always winning? How are are they just perfect, right? So I used to think to myself, they must just be perfect because nothing seems to ever go wrong for those people. And, I can tell you right now that's not true. Like, we're all still human, and everybody you see is still human. So everybody's going through their own stuff. So really, this is how you're able to pull yourself out of a funk. I'm still trying to decide which way to look because I have multiple cameras, still getting used to this whole multiple camera thing. Let me know below where you're watching from. I'd love to be able to see how we pull everyone together here across the world from simply just being able to help people out with, live videos and training, etc. So anyway, guys, if you're feeling off, the easiest way to be able to figure out why, instead of trying to put it on yourself, because that's usually the mistake people will make, is they will put it on themselves and why they're feeling bad, saying they're bad, right? So a lot of times, like, well, maybe I'm just like, maybe there's something wrong with me, right? That's the first go-to that you look at. And as, being human, that's totally normal. You have to think like, well, maybe something's wrong with me. And the thing is, it's not that something's wrong with you, it's that small actions that you've been taking over X amount of time drove you to feel this way, those compounded actions and of things that were not a part of your winning routine. So for me specifically, because I do consider myself a high performer and I follow a lot of high performance habits, anytime this happens to me, the first thing I fall back on is, okay, so what differed? That's a word. What was different from my routine over the last week that has led me to feel this way? So that's the first thing I want to look at. And for me this morning, as I'm reflecting on that, because I woke up anxious. I woke up a little bit frustrated for really no reason at all. And then I woke up. What else was I feeling? A little bit tired, somewhat sad, because for whatever reason, because when you're tired, the way I like to envision this is like when you're tired, it's like your ambition is still running because, your goals and your dreams, guys, don't give a fuck about how you feel, right? They're ready to leave you in an instant and go with the person that's willing to put in the work, right? So the way I envision it is like, whenever you're really tired, your ambition's still going, and then you're tired, so you're starting to like, the easiest thing to do is to fall back on old things you used to feel and think and old habits and behaviors that were easier. So I'm immediately waking up sad. I don't know why I did that, as probably a defense mechanism subconsciously, but like I woke up feeling also a little bit sad because I'm starting to recall old traumas, old instances that I lived through for really no apparent reason. Like I'm just feeling them, right? Because I'm exhausted. And it's not even that I didn't get enough sleep. It may have been my routine before I went to sleep. So I'm also evaluating those things. So anytime that you start to feel off or demotivated, you're starting to realize if you can resonate with any of these feelings, feeling sad, anxious, tired, angry, what are some other ones? I mean, I think those are the ones I was feeling this morning. And even when I woke up, because whenever I wake up, guys, if you don't do this for yourself, affirmations to yourself to pull yourself out of bed, because if you wake up early, I like to wake up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. to go through my morning routine. Like, there's going to be most mornings until you get used to waking up early where it's going to be tough. And even when you are used to it, I like to have what I call controlled emotional triggers to be able to turn um, that difficult hour to wake up into a positive. So when my alarm goes off at 5:30 and 6 o'clock, I like to tell myself, Rob, you create change. Change does not happen until you get up. So I tell myself that, so this way it helps me get out of bed, because it knows I can tell myself, like, the change I'm looking to create doesn't happen until I decide to create the change, and that can't happen until I get up. And I just know that all the people that my change affects. So that helps me get out of bed. So even though that helped me get out of bed, I still felt that way, right? I still felt anxious, tired, a little bit angry, a little sad. And I was feeling all these things. So the first thing I'm doing a lot of time when I'm showering, I like to go through affirming with myself again all the things that I know to be true in my life and things I know that I'm going to be creating in my life. So I basically speak to myself from a third party. And a lot of you guys might be watching this thinking like, this is woo-woo, like this is dumb, like why would that, just sounds ridiculous. But the truth is, the more that you say something to yourself, the more you say something out loud, it becomes real. Even my kids, if you ask them, even my kids say this because I've ingrained it in them. They say, you create the things you say. If you can't, you won't. If you can, you will. Like, my kids can recite that because they know it's true. Like, you're affirming the reality. So I always like to do that while I'm showering too, where I'm basically like, do you believe that you're going to be able to make this happen? Yes. Do you believe you're going to hit this number? Yes. What is it going to take for you guys to achieve X? It's going to take this. What can stop you from that? This. So these are all the things I like to constantly be reaffirming with myself. But the thing is, even when I was done with that, usually that amps me the fuck up. Usually I'm like so roaring to go by that point in time, which is like the first 30 minutes of me waking up. I'm just like, bring on the next thing. But for some reason, I wasn't feeling that yet. And so I started to reflect back on all the little things, the little actions throughout the week. So what I came to figure out was that I was not meditating. I was not reading before bed. I was not journaling every night before bed. I was not going over my identity map in the morning, which if you don't have one of those, if you're in my Facebook group, I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go to my Facebook group. You can rewatch this video because I can't share it because I'm live streaming on my phone. So your identity map helps you confirm your rules for becoming the person you will become. It helps you constantly reaffirm who you were, what you're proud of, who you are today, and who you will become in detail. So I make sure that I look at that every day, and especially in times like this where you tend to feel this way, you want to make sure that you have that as your safety net, right? To constantly let yourself know, this is who I used to be and what I'm proud of. This is who I am now. This is who I will be. These are the rules I follow to become that person. And then you have your vision board. And then a list of affirmations. So that's an identity map to help you clearly define like who you're going to be. So I know I wasn't doing that regularly. I was not getting as much sleep. You want to make sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Make sure you're drinking enough water. I realized I was drinking more caffeine than I'm used to, so my head wasn't as clear, and more things were making me agitated because of the caffeine. So I cut out alcohol nearly 2.5 months ago now, and it has made a major impact. We have increase in revenue in the business month over month for the last 2.5, so going on 3 months now. And I'm more clear, right, with everything else, my vision, the purpose, the actions to get to the big goal, the big hairy audacious goal of creating the world's most effective sales system, sales development company for online agencies. So anyway, to look back, if you're feeling off or demotivated, make sure you're doing these things and you're not blaming yourself, but you're looking back at all the small actions that led up to this feeling. So were you reading every day for growth? No? Okay, well that could be one thing. Are you sleeping 7 to 8 hours? No? Could be another thing. Are you eating 5 times a day as small meals? No? Could be another thing. Are you drinking enough water every day? No? Could be another thing. Are you doing your affirmations? No? Could be another thing. Are you meditating or doing anything spiritual? No? Could be another thing. Are you pursuing your hobby? Right? Because if you're not also pursuing another hobby outside of business, then that's another thing. because you have to create balance. Are you winning in business? And is that, if you're not, is that causing you to feel this way, which means you're attaching your identity to business? That's another thing. If you're not winning in business, more than likely it's because of your personal stuff. So this is how the circle happens, right? Are you in contact with your family? Are you in contact with friends? So these are all individual things that lead up to the feeling of I feel off, I feel anxious, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel like all of these feelings ended up happening because of a compound, like a combination of all of those things that I just listed off. So it's never just one thing. So keep that in mind. So if you guys are ever feeling that way, let me just share my identity map so everybody here can get a look at that if you're watching on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can put them below. I have to get ready to hop off here in like 2 minutes, but this is what the identity map looks like. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to break it down for you. So the way this works is I have, and let me know on Facebook if you guys can see this, but the way this works for me is you have who you were before, who you are today, and who you're proud of, and what you're going to be. So for me, Rob is a successful, highly sought after, highly respected sales expert specializing in small, medium, big businesses for coach and consultant service providers to scale their agency by creating a systemized process and a better sales system and sales team. And then we go into who I was and then who I'm going to be. I have my vision board, which contains, a combination of different pictures and things that I will have in life. Rules for achieving all of those things. So you want to make sure you know what you're going to do religiously to make that happen. So if you guys aren't looking at this every day, then it's going to be easy to get lost in the feelings you're having now. That's the biggest thing, right? What you have now are just feelings, okay? Which is totally normal. So everybody has those feelings and emotions, but it's up to you to know and learn how to be able to pull yourself out of that quote unquote funk, okay? So anyway, if you guys are feeling this, make sure that this is totally normal, especially as somebody that's in moving towards high performance. In fact, as you start to pursue that better version of yourself, you're going to realize this is going to be coming up more and more and more. So you're going to be constantly challenging yourself to get to the next level, and that's only going to happen. You will constantly feel more overwhelmed and more unsatisfied as you pursue high performance if you are not pursuing balance along with that, okay? You're going to start to realize that really fast, and then that's what makes it harder to get to that next level. With every new level, there's a new devil. And the thing is, as you get conditioned, you're prepared for the next level. I get asked this all the time, like, Rob, how are you managing all of these pieces? And the thing is, it's not any harder than it was when I started because I'm conditioned for this level, right? The same way professional athletes are conditioned for the NFL, whereas Pee-wee football players, young Pee-wee football players are conditioned for Pee-wee football, right? If you were to throw them in the NFL, they wouldn't do well. They're not conditioned for that. And they're also toddlers. Anyway, maybe not the best example, but you guys get it. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to jump off, get ready for the rest of the day. I just thought this would be a helpful live for anybody that would be tuning in. And if it was, just let me know below. Let me know what actionable steps you're going to take in order to make sure if you're feeling this, how you're not going to, so I know that you actually understood what was going on here, because that's the only way this stuff helps, right? If it's very clear and understandable. That's really it. So let's kick some ass this week. I would love to hear about your success, so just drop it below. Love to hear about that, and if any of this was helpful for that. So appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all later.